And pretty much right on time, Dragon has arrived at the 100-meter point. That's about 328 feet from the station. Aboard the International Space Station, Alex Gerst in the foreground, Reed Wiseman next to him on his left as they monitor the approach of Dragon inside 100 meters now to the station. The earliest capture point arrival scheduled just about now. But the plan is for the spacecraft to arrive about 100 feet from the station just a little bit after 5 a.m. Central, about 8 minutes after the hour. At that point, there'll be another station keeping essentially in a hold position while all of the flight control teams caucus to assess the health of the spacecraft before heading from the 100-foot point to the capture point arrival. That about 35 feet from the station within arm's reach of the station's Canadarm2. That will be under the control of Gerst, located there in the cupola module. The Dragon is currently now about 72 meters from the station. That's about 230 feet. And a close-up view of the grapple fixture on the Dragon spacecraft, traveling 5 miles per second, same speed obviously as the International Space Station, so the relative motion between the two is essentially zero as SpaceX oversees the command and control of the Dragon as it approaches the station. Flight Director Chris Edelin conferring with his visiting vehicle officer here in Mission Control as the Dragon approaches the 30-meter point about 100 feet from the station. That's usually a hold point to ensure that all of the lighting conditions are appropriate visuals as the Dragon approaches inside 30 meters. But the report is they're a little bit ahead of schedule, so there's no issues with lighting. There's no requirement to hold at 30 meters. So the plan will be as the vehicle approaches 100 feet from the station, 30 meters, crew likely will be given a go to press on inside 30 meters headed toward the capture point arrival, which is 10 meters from the station, approximately 35 feet. And the overlay that the crew looks at with the distance down in the right, bottom right corner there showing 30 meters. Pri and secondary readings that the crew has a filter, and you can see a beautiful view of the station's robotic arm and the capture position and Dragon there at the top. That is a distance of 100 feet from the, essentially 100 feet from the station. The capture point arrival is targeted to happen or occur about 46 minutes after the hour. high above South Africa, and aboard the station inside the cupola module, Alexander Gerst in the foreground will be operating the station's robotic arm for the capture with assistance from Reed Wiseman. The plan will be after capture, the crew will take a break. There'll be several steps taken to ensure the health of the spacecraft ahead of the actual berthing to the Harmony Nadir or Earth-facing port on the station. And the crew will take a break from this activity, have lunch, and then return for the actual berthing activities. That will be under the command likely of Reed Wiseman, who will take charge of the actual maneuver of the robotic arm to the berthing position on the docking port of Harmony. The station now tracking off the southern tip of South Africa, beginning a easterly swing across the Southern Ocean into an orbital sunset, headed for sunset about 22 minutes from now. The capture of the Dragon is targeted for a little after 6 a.m. Central, 7 Eastern Time. Of course, that's solely dependent on the approach activities at this point. That is a targeted capture time. SpaceX Dragon will be the 8th U.S. commercial cargo vehicle to arrive at the station. This is the 5th Dragon to arrive at the International Space Station. This view looking through the crosshairs of the camera on the robotic arm of the station. Been 4 previous Dragon spacecraft delivering cargo to the station, and 3 Orbital Sciences Cygnus spacecraft arrival. The next orbital launch is currently no earlier than mid-October, delivering additional cargo to the complex. It's a busy fall for the highways around the International Space Station with these cargo vehicle arrivals, as well as the next crew arrival, which is scheduled for Thursday night. The next Russian Progress vehicle is targeted for launch on October 29th, so fairly busy time frame for the roads leading to and from the station as the visiting vehicles continue to provide the cargo, science, and hardware associated with around-the-clock support of crew members on board. So the crew is ready. SpaceX mission director has been given the go to proceed with the approach.
Station Houston on 2 for Dragon.
Go ahead, Serena.
Dragon has begun its approach from 30 meters. Your go for step 5 in 1.102.
Step 5 is in work. We can verify that our mode is approach. The pry range is decreasing, now under 30, looking great. And for corridor monitoring block Bravo, everything is nice and aligned up here now.
We copy all. That's great news.
And with that call from Serena Anand here in Mission Control to Reed Wiseman and Alex Gerst inside the cupola module aboard the International Space Station, Dragon is on its way from the 100-foot point to the capture point arrival. That distance, again, about 10 meters or about 35 feet. We started that approach a little bit earlier than the timeline, so the capture point arrival should be somewhere around 5:45 this morning Central Time. About 8 minutes from the next orbital sunset as the station and Dragon approach the southern coast of Australia. Continuing the slow approach headed for the capture point arrival, which is about 35 feet. That puts the Dragon and its flight releasable grapple fixture within reach of the station's robotic arm. This view looking down the end of the station's latching end effector on the Canadarm2. Alexander Gerst will be in command of the station's robot arm for the actual grapple. The crew will take a break while the robotics team on the ground relocates the Dragon to the actual berthing position on the Harmony module, the Nader berthing port. And then Reed Wiseman will handle the actual berthing procedure, latching all of the bolts securely for the common berthing mechanism to the Dragon, securing it to the station for its month-long stay. At the upper portion of the Dragon, of course, is the return vehicle, so that cargo that's to be returned to Earth that can be placed inside the Dragon. The down mass of the spacecraft cargo is targeted to be a little more than 3,200 pounds. Delivery to the station is just under 5,000 pounds at 4,885. The lower portion is the external payload cargo area, known affectionately as the trunk of the spacecraft. It also houses all of the avionics and electronics, obviously, and the secure area for the solar arrays, providing electrical power to the Dragon during the free flight phases of the vehicle.
station on 2. It's a beautiful sunset. Dragon's at 15 meters and closing. Everything looks picture perfect on the displays.
Copy all. Good news.
Inside 50 feet, crossing the southern coastline of Australia, beginning a northeasterly track on this orbital pass that will take it across the Pacific Ocean, across a night pass, the next orbital sunrise, about 34 minutes from now. Inside 40 feet. Standing by for capture point arrival.
Station Houston on 2 for Dragon.
We're with you on 2, Serena.
Dragon is holding at the capture point. You're go to perform step 6 in 1.102.
Okay, we're putting steps in the cue card in hand, and we are stepping into step 4 in 1.110.
Copy.
In all conditions, as you heard, are go for capture. The crew has been given a go to proceed. The next steps will be for Alex Gerst to take command of the station's robotic arm to begin the procedure of moving in to capture the grapple fixture that you see there, the flight releasable grapple fixture, or FRGF.
Houston Station on 2, we got a quick question about the Lee mode.
With you on 2.
When we go to command capture automatic, we now see some different options, and the only fast limp mode we see is a fast passive limp and a fast active limp. We just wanted to confirm with you which selection we should be looking at.
And Reed, you're going to want fast passive limp.
Okay, fast passive is selected. Thank you.
Reed Wiseman confirming the software mode for the latching end effector. He references as his acronym of Lee. And as you see, the robotic arm is in motion. The Dragon spacecraft is very stable. The latching end effector is in the capture mode. Alex Gerst in control of the robotic arm's motion. And just under 10 feet to capture. All of the station's attitude control system has now been inhibited. Essentially, the station is in free drift for this procedure. robotic arm end effector, now about 5 feet from the grapple fixture, standing by for capture by Alex Gerst in control of the station's robot arm.
And Station Houston on Space to Ground 2. Alex Reed, outstanding capture. Well done capturing that Dragon.
Thank you, Serena. We copy all. This was indeed a great flight of the Dragon towards the station, and we're happy to have a new vehicle on board. With that, we would like to congratulate all the teams on the ground at SpaceX, at NASA, the combined teams, all our trainers, the VDOs, for making this first part of the mission so successful. We're looking forward to continuing that success with that mission. We're continuing to move a lot of science out of this vehicle into our ISS, performing a lot of science in the next month. And with that, I would like to say big thanks from Reed and myself for all the support.
Copy all, Alex. We really appreciate all those words, and we know the team out in Hawthorne and everywhere appreciates your words as well.
And pretty much right on time, Dragon has arrived at the 100-meter point. That's about 328 feet from the station. Aboard the International Space Station, Alex Gerst in the foreground, Reed Wiseman next to him on his left as they monitor the approach of Dragon inside 100 meters now to the station. The earliest capture point arrival scheduled just about now